Hello, everybody, and welcome in to another episode of the Couch GMs podcast. It's Thursday, July 24th, 2025. I'm your host, George Kirk, joined by the one and only Cody Roadcap. Training camp officially in session for everyone in the NFL, and I could not be more pumped. I don't know about you.
No, same for me. Yesterday, obviously, Green Bay stuff behind me, big Packers fan. Getting that on the timeline on Instagram, just re-got that spark. It was a long off season, and all I'm going to say is Packers win the Super Bowl. That's how I feel after 2 days of training camp. So here we go.
I mean, they moved Bo Melton to corner, so what other big move do you need, right?
Hey, anytime you can replace All-Pro Jair Alexander with Bo Melton, you got to do it, and it's going to be the difference maker for this year's championship run.
Cody's going to clip this literally right now, and when he does make a big play in the playoffs or something, he's going to be like, I told you on July 24th.
I don't do the clipping. That's all you, buddy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you say that, and then the one clip we do have is of me from you.
Oh, you mean this
I'm a
one?
Chargers fan. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, exactly that one. Well,
always ready to go.
Make sure you're following us at the Couch GMs, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok to get even more than you do from the show. Join us live Thursday nights at 6:30 to comment, ask us questions, get involved in the show. Big show today. We have a World Cup update for you guys. If you don't remember from last week, we have the continuation of our top 100. But first, what's happening? What's happening is Jets fans and maybe some fantasy owners had a little bit of a scare here on Thursday morning as Justin Fields got carted off from Jets practice, only the second practice of the year. There were speculations it could be an Achilles, and we find out he dislocated a non-big toe.
Yep. So all positives for on the Jets side. It was a crazy couple hours on how much media coverage this got. It was just like anything football, we got to eat it up, and it blew up everywhere. Everyone's talking about the Jets' bad luck, but it seems like they're going to avoid it. But who knows what that means for that team anyways. They're still pretty rough out there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even say, well, I don't know who else they have at quarterback off the top of my head, but going from Justin Fields to something else might not even be a big difference in the world of fantasy either. So
exactly. Well, before we get to any more news, I don't know if he's ready, but we got someone waiting in the green room. We are talking
green room. We're that good.
I think we're that good. We're talking 265 days, 3 minutes, 14 seconds since his last appearance on this show. One of the originating founders, Tyler Snyder, is joining us because we're talking about the Couch GMs World Cup. Tyler, hello, buddy. How are you doing?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
I'm a little disappointed. There's less crockpot and more dog treat in your background now.
Yeah, well, this one right here is a crock pot. It's actually a new crock pot, but it's a football shaped one. So, we're improving.
No, that's good. We're happy to have you. How have you been? Before we get into more news and notes, fill us in on life. If you just want to talk about the Titans, Will Levis being out for the season, how much you're tired of hearing about the Cam Ward, Will Levis quarterback drama that's not going to happen. But how you been?
Yeah, I didn't know you guys were counting the actual days since I've been on here. That's crazy. But yeah, life's been crazy. I've been doing a lot, trying to go for a master's degree. Been working, got a brand new store at work. Ready to get back into football season, though.
Something about July just gives you that itch, doesn't it?
It does, man.
And what else gives you an itch about football is all these teams releasing new uniforms, throwbacks, color rushes, if we're still calling it that, alternates, how we're working it down. We've had 5 or 6 teams throw out some new uniforms over the last week and a half. Any of them stick out to you as your favorite? You got the Saints and their game day golds, as I like to call them. Packers throwbacks. Steelers attempt at remaking the Bumblebees cool.
Browns. The Bumblebees were never cool.
Any of them stick out to any of you guys?
I mean, the Packers win for me. Honestly, the Packers' new helmets mostly looks super cool. The Browns' new helmet is just overshadowed by a photographer falling in the water, so you can't really put them in the same perspective. But yeah, Packers win it for me.
Yeah, if we're talking about a brown helmet, the Packers 100% beat the Browns. But no, I'm glad you brought up the photographer because I was going to mention it too. And if you guys haven't seen, watch that video back again and look at the mascot dude just waddle over and just toss a floaty at the guy in the water at the end. It's cinema.
Absolute. And props to him. I mean, throwing a floaty in a mascot uniform can't be easy.
No, it can't. I'm laughing here on the side too because the Mysterious Red Solo Cup is back as well. There's just so much throwback happening at one time. I also wanted to give a shout to the Bills for bringing back the red helmets for their last home game in their old stadium this year. So that was a classy move as well.
Do you think they announced that too early? Like, hey, everybody, get excited for the new season. We have these new red helmets. Oh, we're wearing them at the last home game. Like, why get everyone excited now?
Well, I feel like when they announce uniforms, the earliest a team ever wears them is like week 8. But normally it's like this uniform is coming out in like week 13. It's like, well, if you count that it's only July, that's what, 5 months from now, it feels like.
And it just felt like it was a little bit too early of an announcement for me, but a cool way to honor it. But Tyler's here. So should we start doing the Couch GM stuff?
I think it's a great idea. You hear that, you see the tricolored background that Cody hasn't put up yet, but I can see him searching for on the side of his screen. That means we are about to select the groups for year 3 of the Couch GMs World Cup. There it is.
It's been so long, I forgot we had that. I'm not going to lie.
That's why I tried to cue you, but I had to tease you at the same time because I think listeners would think something was wrong if I didn't. But we are going to pick the groups for year 3 of the Couch GMs World Cup. Quick background, if you guys have not been following, this is our 4-year fantasy football experiment. We have 30 players in a league. We have people qualify for the final in year 4 by either winning a league or having the best win-loss record through the first 3 seasons. So this is the last year for players to qualify. And right now, none of the 3 of us are qualified. So big year for us 3.
Yet.
Yeah. Hey, we like to live life on the edge, do things last minute. There's nothing more Couch GM than waiting until the final year. We're all going to get in. Well, maybe not George, but
not George. Definitely not.
George's wife, maybe. George, no.
No, definitely not. All right, Cody. So we are going to do this in terms of a wheel of names, similar to how we did last year. There we are. So if you have not remembered, Group A is going to be with Tyler, Group B with Cody, and I'll be in Group C. We are filling in the 9 names that we'll be playing with the group of us.
All right. So obviously I'm controlling the button. But Tyler, whenever you're ready to kick this off, you just tell me to click that button to find out who the first member on your team is. Or not your team, in your league.
Click that button.
Now you got to go, no whammies, no whammies. I'm just kidding. That's trademarked. We're not going to get sued for that.
They're all whammies. They're all trash. Whoever's in my league is going to lose. Greg, I'm sorry to hear about your loss this year. Sorry, buddy.
Greg was one of the top performers in year 1, but did slip a little bit in year 2.
All right, so we're going to take him out of the list, which puts me up the clock. So first person joining me in Group B is, as the wheel spins, sound effects included, one Mr. Doug. Welcome to Group B. I feel like we might have been I'd have to fact check it, but I feel like we were in the group together year 1 as well. So I have to check that one out.
All righty. I think that means I'm up next. I have no idea who we even want. Not Marcus.
You want
just saw Marcus's name popped up randomly. Looks like I got Shelby, one of the people who have qualified with a championship.
So George has to have a good season beating a person that's already qualified to do so. So that makes it interesting. Tyler, you're back on the clock. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, man.
It's lagging on my screen, which makes it even more exciting because I can't tell who it's landing on.
Let's just do the flop.
Bree. I'm sorry to hear about year 3, Bree.
So, Tyler, we all need you to beat Bree, who has a current 4-game lead on the top wildcard spot as we go through right now. So,
yeah, it's no problem. I got that.
Maybe a sneak in commissioner, tweak some points. Just kidding. We don't do any of that points. Next person joining Group B is the wheel spins. I think we're going to get David. Is it going to squeak to Mikey B? Nope. We have David joining Group B. Whew. Hopefully George is writing this down because I already forget who's all in my group.
I am. I got you. It's only Doug and David with you. Greg and Bree in Group A, and Group C so far, Shelby and
It's just a Snyder powerhouse over there in Group C.
It is. Too
It's
bad
my
they're all going
brother
to
and
lose
my
to
wife.
him, but it's
Let's
fine.
go.
George just can't get enough of you, man. Like, he just wants all the Snyders in his life.
I can't play with him until at least next year, so
That means I'm going to get, who am I going to get? Coleman? Yep, looks like I'm getting Coleman. I'm sorry to hear about year 3, Coleman.
We'll get. Hey, man, I love the trash talk. That's why we had to bring you back for this episode specifically. And again, if you're listening to this on the audio version, like, what do you guys talk about? Check us out on YouTube at the Couch GM. See the video version, see the wheel, get a bit of an idea. Sheeler is joining my group, formerly in our League of Record, now in the Couch GM's World Cup. Good to going up against you again. Whew. George, you ready?
I'm ready.
What Snyder can we add to Group C? Let's see. Josh, I'm guessing.
I think is he the last one?
Here comes Josh. Oh, we went past Josh.
No, we're going
Snyder.
other Josh.
Other Josh.
I called Josh. Just didn't call him.
You got muted there, George. But you got Josh W., former college classmate, just recently opened up a drone photography business. If you're interested in that, you can check him out. Definitely not a sponsor, though. So, but he plays. All right. Now we're back to
Group A. I got Josh. I'm sorry to hear about year 3, Josh.
I'm calling Josh's back to back. It's always fun when there's two people of the same name in the same league, especially for Cody when he tries to talk about it. So I'm a little disappointed we don't have the two Joshes together.
Well, the Andrews are still out there.
They are.
I want Cliff Neal. That's who I want right now.
Trash.
Or we can just move past Brandon. I'll take Jim.
Jim now in Group B. The sound effects and the clapping really add something.
I know. It just makes you more excited. Oh, man, you're going to steal him from me. Oh, no, you're not.
Nope. Looks like I got Ryan. Welcome to Group C.
Are we halfway through yet? I feel like we're halfway through.
1, 2, 3. We got 5 on each. So Group A so far, we got Tyler right here, Greg, Bree, Coleman, and Josh S. Group B so far, Cody, Doug, David, Sheeler, and Jim. And then Group C so far is myself, Shelby, Nick, Josh W, and Ryan.
All right, here we go. Kicking off the bottom half of filling out the leagues, or the second half, I should say. There's no bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to hear about year 3, Marcus.
Love when we can talk some trash on Marcus.
Just never forget, Marcus took Bijan Robinson with the #1 pick last year. And
yes, he did.
Never forget.
He threw Group C's draft for a loop so bad last year.
Now I'm not getting Cliff Neal. Looks like I'm getting Jason.
Jason into Group B. Number 6 in Group C.
Oh,
George
darn.
steals it.
You got
Neal.
Neal.
Cliff Neal. That's a good time.
That's an easy win right there.
I think I got to open up a Pop-Tart right now and not put it in the toaster.
Inside jokes, Cody.
Hey, he's probably watching.
I'm sorry to hear about year 3, Colin.
Colin into Group A.
Alrighty, and for me, the wheel spins. Still have a couple winners out there that we need to figure out where they're going to go.
One of them is Sean, who goes with Cody in Group B.
Great.
Nice.
And George, back up for Group C. It's fascinating radio right here.
And
here we go. Yeah, that's
another champion going to Group C. Welcome, Kempy.
And that means he doesn't have to try. He's in Georgia's
one of the best fantasy rivals is George and Kempy right there. So I
fantasy
love
baseball highlight, but fantasy football, we got our moments.
Can't wait.
Fantasy sports, just in general. Snyder, you're back on the clock.
Group
Still,
A.
both Andrews are available. Maybe that changes now.
Sorry, Andrew. There's always the next 4 years.
How's Andrew S? not
All
to be confused with Andrew T. Just making
All right,
sure
well,
we get that out there.
Well, I'm rooting for Andrew T right now just to help me out a little bit.
This will be the first year we don't have a double name.
Whew.
And Cody gets his wish.
Cody called it.
By the hair, by a little bit, a little sliver. Again, check it out on YouTube if you want to see the wheel in action and not just us talking about it. Group C.
That's Andrew T to Group B and Group C. Have I played with Cam all 3 years? I think I might have.
Probably.
Cam goes to Group C.
All right, 2 spots left. Each one, or in each group, I should say. And looks like you're going to get good old Mikey B joining you in Group A.
Started to hear about year 3, Mikey B.
I just love that the tagline you have there. That should be your team name. Sorry to hear about your year. Probably too many characters.
Probably.
Lee Van.
They're on 11, as Cody likes to
I was
say.
like, give me 11.
AA Ron 11. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here.
We are 4 names left here.
I don't know if Brandon's watching right now, but I can hear him like always last. Always last. Anyone else?
Always last. I know I've definitely played with Anthony for 3 straight years, and he is another champion now in Group C.
Good. Get all them champions together. All right, the last spot in Group A goes to Brandon, Reed, or Hayden. And it won't be Brandon.
I'm sorry to hear about year 3, Hayden.
Hayden to Group A.
All
Brandon
right.
wants to play in Group C because he thinks he can trash talk me. But one of the best fantasy football rivalries is him and Cody. So,
which I
last
don't
to get
understand.
a league gets last in the league. Good job, Brandon.
Welcome to my league, Brandon. Welcome to my league. Which means Reed's in Group C. We're going to spin the wheel anyways.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
No whammies, no whammies.
Oh.
Reed, come on.
Man, I didn't see that one coming.
No, me neither.
That one was a surprise.
All right, I'll run us down.
And I also have to give a shout out to Kempy throwing a uh-oh when his name got slipped out there. So, but yeah,
Group
Jordan,
A.
hit us with the rundown.
Tyler, Greg,
Trash.
Bree,
Trash.
Coleman,
Trash.
Josh S,
Trash.
Marcus,
Trash.
agree with that one. Colin,
Trash.
Andrew S,
Trash.
Mikey B,
Trash.
and Hayden.
Trash. I won.
Group B with Cody will be Doug,
Very
David.
good. Oh, you're not going to give me the opportunity to respond every time? Okay, just go
I'll
quick.
slow it down if you want me to.
No, it's all good.
Doug, David, Sheeler, Jim, Jason, Sean, Andrew T, Levin, Aaron Levan, and Brandon. And then with me in Group C is Shelby, Nick, Josh W, Ryan, Neil, Kempy, Cam, Anthony, and Reed. So I'm trying to point out where the champions are here. There's 3 of them in Group C, if I'm not mistaken. Shelby, Kempy, and Anthony. Sean in Group B. And then who am I missing?
I'd have to take a look here at the list.
Jason and Reed.
So Reed's in my group. I think he's in
Reed
your group
is in my group. So Group C's got 4 champions.
Awesome. So yeah, just Sean and Jason across the other 2 groups. So
And they're both in Group B. So Tyler does have the group of no champions.
Trash.
so that guarantees at least 1 wild card spot will be taken up by a champion in this last year.
Yes.
So we're hoping for a repeat coming out of Group C and me
No, I'm not.
winning this year.
Yourself.
That's what we're hoping for. But that is the Couch GM's World Cup. As always, make sure you're following along all season for that. And I'm sure everyone's curious. Draft 1 month from today when we do I believe that's a Sunday. August 24th sounds about right. Same time we did it last year. All drafts happen simultaneously, and we compete all year long to see who makes the final countdown, final show, however we're going to word that. But any thoughts on your groups before we move on to the heart of this episode?
I'm sure everybody's going to give it their all. Everybody's great. Yeah, no, trash, no. All right, you might as well just pencil me into the finals. Sorry.
All right, pencil Snyder in, and we'll find out in 265 days when he returns to the podcast if he made it.
Mark your calendars.
All right, you ready to talk about some top 100?
I am. All right. So last week we went through 100 to 51. If you missed it, make sure you go back to last week's episode. Check out the first half of our top 100 list. But today we're talking 50 to 26. With it being less players, we're going to go 5 at a time instead of 10. Anything else to add, Cody?
Snyder has no idea who was in
I can't
the
wait.
50 to 100 or who we're going to talk about today. So it'll be a nice, fresh perspective. So should be interesting.
It will, because Cody and I's rankings determined the order of the top 100. So I'm waiting to see somebody who Snyder's like, why is he even here?
Oh, all of them.
All right, George.
The wild card.
Yeah, he's like, where's Will Levis?
All right. Well, Will Levis is on injured reserve. If you missed that, we mentioned that twice already this episode. Here we are. 50 to 46. Number 50, Courtland Sutton in Denver. 49, Joe Mixon. 48, DK Metcalf, newly with the Steelers. James Conner, number 47. And Alvin Kamara, number 46. Anyone want to chime in anywhere here?
Yeah, I'll start with Joe Mixon, 49. He has been in a walking boot, so that's something to monitor. I don't think it was enough to move him down. Just the workload, age. He was very touchdown dependent last year. So although he was at a top running back when healthy last season, I think just age, being injured now, not being efficient as a runner, more of having to rely on the touchdowns is why he's a little bit lower on the list, at least for me.
Any worries about Nick Chubb now being there? I know he's getting up there in age as well and had some injury issues, but they got themselves basically an insurance policy.
Yeah, I'm not. Nick Chubb has to stay healthy and prove that he can do anything I see him as the veteran that just floats around for a while. Obviously, he was never he was a very good running back, but he was never peak Adrian Peterson. But Adrian Peterson, when he bounced around for the Seahawks and the Titans and stuff like that, he had a couple games where he might have been the lead guy, but he was never truly fantasy relevant after his prime.
Yeah, I'll take Alvin Kamara here. So he is, he has the pedigree. He's always been up and down. He's one of the most frustrating fantasy players, I'll say, because he's the guy that'll give you 5 one week and then give you 45 the next week. And you're like, all right, do I play him or do I not? But with them not having a quarterback this year, I think the Saints are one of the biggest question marks. I'm not touching Kamara. Plus, he's getting up there in age. I don't think he's going to be utilized the same way that he has been in years past. Even though he is 46, it might be a nice late round flyer if he falls far enough. But as far as at his current rank, yeah, I'm not touching him.
I agree with that. It's hard to tell how they're going to use him too, because I think we brought up earlier in the offseason. I don't think Kamara, I don't think, why am I blanking on who their head coach is now? That ruins my entire
Kellen
point.
Moore.
Kellen Moore, thank you. Has ever had a running back who's been super successful in the pass game, at least to the extent that Kamara has been in the past. And then we've also had the situation, like Tyler said, where he's inconsistent, but I feel like it's been a lot more of super successful to start the year. And you're like, oh man, this guy's an RB10 again. And then by the end of the year, he's RB30. And it's like, where did he even go in the last 10 weeks of the season? So if you draft him, prepare to trade him in week 4, maybe.
Yeah, I think you'll see him on a lot of people because people see him so late that do the no running back strategy, take their wide receivers early, come around round 5 and 6, be like, oh, Alvin Kamara's still there, and maybe he has a good week 2 or 3, but he'll be a guy that's getting thrown in every trade by the end of the season for sure.
When maybe the better option is James Conner, who's right there at 47. He's very touchdown dependent, but at least when it comes to consistency, he's been better over the last few years, more consistent at least than Kamara.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then DK at 48 too, just a quick.
You almost said decaf.
I did. That is decaf Metcalf. Some of that is the new team, how he's going to gel with Aaron, how he's going to play in Pittsburgh. had a little bit of a down year last year in Seattle as well. So a lot of unknowns surrounding him. That's why he's in, this mid 50s range, which is, your end of the guys you feel confident in.
Yeah, exactly. And I was trying to make sure there wasn't a lot of disparity between you and I, Cody. Courtland Sutton, you actually have a 45. I have 51. Decent amount there. And then Kamara, I have a 43, and you have 48. But nothing super crazy besides that.
Cool. What's the next 5?
Next 5. I did not have it ready. Give me a second. 45 to 41. 45, Chuba Hubbard. 44 is Joe Burrow. 43, Rashee Rice. 42, DJ Moore. And 41, Marvin Harrison Jr. Should we start with Rashee Rice and just elephant in the room?
Yeah, he's going to be suspended. How many games determines a lot of that. We don't know. There's no real speculation or any estimation at this point of how many it is. I know I've been in the mindset. I'm thinking 12 games gets appealed down to 8. I was talking to somebody in a dynasty league. We were talking a Rashee Rice trade, and he was thinking 6 games appeal down to 4, or maybe even just 4 games straight. Appeal fails. So, I mean, that's a big difference. Like a guy just for the fantasy playoff run, or available all season long outside of the first 4 weeks. And if he's only misses the first 4 games, I think he should be higher. And obviously, if he misses 12 games, he should be lower, which kind of put him in an awkward spot to rank when going through this exercise.
Definitely. I mean, original rankings, we actually did this the day that he had the arraignment happen. And you originally had him at 30. And I think I originally had him at, was it, I think 36, 37. And he dropped down to 38 for you and 50 for me. So big difference there.
Yeah, and just if you're watching, I'm pretty sure Snyder's computer just died. So maybe not. Maybe he's coming back. But I wanted to ask you this. Like, looking at this list, 41 to 45. Hey, you're a little rusty. It's okay. Like, I feel a lot better about all these players than the 5 we just saw right after, which obviously you should. But, like, I feel like there's, like, a complete tier break confidence level.
I mean, you say that besides Rice potentially missing time. I'm not the biggest DJ Moore guy myself, but he's had opportunity. They still have a semi-crowded wide receiver room, but Keenan Allen's not there anymore. A lot of it's going to depend on if there's going to be a step by Caleb Williams or not.
Yeah, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. as well, just being the Maserati Marv generational prospect that we going to light the league on. And he had some good games, but he also was pretty inconsistent. Can he have a strong second year?
I want to throw Chuba Hubbard at Tyler unless you have another comment.
Dude, I love Chuba. At 4th round, Chuba for sure. Like, that's going to be an easy target. But for me, Rashee Rice, and I mean, we're talking in the 40s. So you're saying like around the 4th round for these kinds of guys in a normal 10-team draft. And I'm not touching Rashee Rice in the 4th round. It's too much question mark for that high of a value. I feel like there's a lot more receivers that you can go with that will give you just as much value. So I'm not touching him. But Chuba, I absolutely love the guy. I want to believe in him. He's kind of like that underdog that you just want to root for. Every year they're like, yeah, it might be Chuba, but it might be this guy. And then Chuba just comes out of nowhere and puts up great yards again. So I'm rooting for him. Is he going to be, a top 5 fantasy running back? Probably not. But I think at this value, it's strong. I would take him.
I mean, last year he was basically free in drafts, free agent half the places, I feel like. And now this year, obviously a much higher value. But when you consider how he played most of the season, there's still a lot of upside. And they only brought in, I guess, Trevor Etienne in the 4th round in the draft, and then they brought over Rico Dowdle. So there's not a whole lot behind him. And the offense should improve over last year. If you remember, half the season, they couldn't move the ball at all. And then Chuba Hubbard was the only person that I was actually doing something on offense. Less pressure on him this year could help too.
Yeah, and then just one last thing, Joe Burrow, quarterback up there. Again, this is fantasy rankings, and part of that also includes ADP. That's why if this was just like overall player rankings, Joe Burrow would be much higher. So just, again, these are fantasy rankings for the upcoming season. where you would take a quarterback like a Joe Burrow at this point in the draft.
And I think all three of us don't like taking early quarterbacks, but this is a pretty fair ranking for him, I think.
40 to 36.
40 to 36. Here we go. Number 40, Ken Walker. 39, Garrett Wilson. 38, Jayden Daniels. 37, Jalen Hurts. And 36, Terry McLaurin. A couple more quarterbacks right on cue there. Cody mentioned they'd probably be higher in overall rankings, but I think this is a good spot for fantasy for them too.
Hey, I saw Snyder fist pumping, so I want to hear what that was about.
Yeah, Jayden Daniels. He's the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Yep.
So, I mean, I really like Jayden Daniels. What he did last year, we were expecting a decent year from him. It's not like he had zero value and he came out of completely nowhere, but nobody expected him to perform the way that he did. And he was just, I think we've been playing fantasy long enough where we stopped just specifically focusing on fantasy points when it comes to people, and we've really learned to enjoy the game more. And it's like you kind of just, there's certain players you just enjoy watching, and that's what Patrick Mahomes was when he first burst onto the scene. Like Mahomes just did things that we weren't used to, and now Jayden Daniels, I feel like he's just so fun to watch. He's so enjoyable to watch. I feel like he has a lot more arm talent than a guy like Jalen Hurts, who is mostly known for his legs. And I'm just excited to see what he can do in year 2 now that he has a whole year behind him.
Man, I can feel Tyler trying to push buttons, but it's not working.
I mean, the floor is
because Hurts is trash, but it's fine.
I mean, the guy won the Super Bowl. Yeah, I will say he's not the
So
best
did
thrower
Nick
of the football.
Foles.
It's fine. But when you're talking about in fantasy, the rushing yards are very important. And Jayden Daniels gets them as well. And having them right next to each other, I think, is actually a really good indication for where they should be.
Yeah, only thing I would add, not that it's for the quarterback thing with our list here. Terry McLaurin, 36. Obviously, we always advocate for drafting as close to the start of the regular season as we can, but he's currently going through the contract holdout. If we see this turn into a similar situation that Jamar Chase went through last year, where, he ended up showing up like the week before the regular season, he ended up winning the Triple Crown, but he had a slow first 2 or 3 weeks. How long of this contract negotiation of him not practicing and being a part of training camp, does he move down the list for you guys at all? Or you just assume he'll be there at some point and he's valued where he's valued?
I mean, he actually ended up falling on the list not far from where I had it, but there's a pretty big disparity between you and me on this one. Being McLaurin, you had it 31, I had 39. It's one of our bigger separations. I just think it's rich for McLaurin. So as it is, if you add in a contract situation where he's still not in camp when we're drafting 2 weeks before the draft, I'm probably dropping another round. But I'm also the guy who I feel like has been burned by McLaurin. So maybe I'm a little biased. He's just one of those guys that I just don't typically touch in fantasy.
Okay. Right. But you said if the contract holdout continues, you're dropping him another round, but you also have right after him DJ Moore, who you admitted you don't really like, and Rashee Rice, who's going through a potential suspension. So do you drop him? I feel like you have a lot of high value, high talent, but question marks. What question mark do you like? Which question mark is the scariest to you? A looming suspension, a contract holdout, or being a Bear?
Being a Bear.
Being a Bear is a great answer. I would probably say the suspension is the craziest because, not being available at all is the biggest thing that would hurt you. I mean, if you're playing for high upside in the fantasy playoffs, that's helpful. But I would say that, and then probably McLaurin second, and then DJ Moore. But I've been trying to give McLaurin more of a shot, which is why I did have him closer. But I have him and DJ Moore fairly close. And I would probably give a bump to Marvin Harrison. The thing is, it's like when you're looking at these rankings, you're trying to, match upside and, talent around him and how they're going to perform and whatever. But you also are going to look at it like, I still would probably rather take a quarterback here instead of taking, a receiver, or I would take a running back instead of a receiver at this point in the draft. And that's where draft strategy comes in. It makes it really hard to just straight rank people because you have a different mindset almost when you're just looking at it in a draft and where your team's already been built to.
Terry McLaurin was wide receiver 6. Just throwing that out there last year. And we have him
Which
down.
was that his best finish of his career? Because I feel like it probably was.
Could you name 3 other Commanders quarterbacks off the top of your head right now?
Well, Carson Wentz, that's fantastic.
You're not fighting, not helping your cause here.
No, I know. I'm not I'm not trying to help my cause. That's the only one I've got, which is bad.
Okay. Point made. You want to do the next 5?
Yes, actually. And I think I have to clear some space on the screen. So talk for a second, Cody.
All right, I'm talking because George needs to clear some space on the screen, which makes great radio. Here we go.
35-31. 35 is T. Higgins. 34, George Kittle. 33, Jackson Smith and Jigba. 32, James Cook. And 31, Mike Evans. I'm going to start off with a debate with Cody because the biggest disparity that I found, at least on today's episode, is T. Higgins. Cody has him all the way down to 39. I have him all the way up at 29, where he averaged out to 35. So why do you have Higgins a whole round lower, do you think?
Health and the inconsistency to stay healthy. Very good when on the field. Lack of availability. Played in 12 games last year. I could look it up while I'm talking here. I don't think he's played 12 games the last 2 years. Some might say the contract dispute that he was having was going through that, but very good player, still a top 50 player. Just, I think his availability, and he is a very good receiver, but he is a number 2 wide receiver behind Jamar Chase, who is going to get his.
He is actually your second ranked wide receiver 2, and we're going to get to the other guy in the next set of names. So I just want to tease that one. He's my highest rated wide receiver 2. And I think because the Bengals offense was so good, despite having absolutely no help last year, just the amount of yards to go around is why I have him as high as I do.
I'll call out James Cook. So James Cook obviously had a hell of a year last year. Won some people some leagues with how well he performed. Just a little note to be ready to be frustrated if you're a James Cook owner, where James Cook runs for 60 yards, gets you all the way down the field, and then Josh Allen takes the rushing touchdown. It happened all last year, and it's super annoying. But as a James Cook owner, just be ready. That is a team where the quarterback is going to steal some of the rushing touchdowns.
It is, and I'm questioning, can they still run as much with Josh Allen this year as they did last year? Because it was getting infuriating by the time they got to the playoffs, where it's like, I could just hear Tony Romo saying, quarterback's legs, every single time they got and less than 2.
That's a very interesting criticism to have for your favorite team. Quarterback's legs, anything less than 2, that's all your team does.
Yeah, literally.
Josh Allen doesn't runs too much. Can't believe that just came out of your mouth when Jalen Hurts is your quarterback. And okay,
honestly, yes. I don't know where I'm at right now. Like, I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. To hear someone be like, "Oh my gosh, it was so infuriating. Every time it's 2 yards, Josh Allen's running, so annoying." Like, every non-Eagles fan for the last 2 years has been saying that. That's why we want to get rid of the tush push. So many people do, because it's so infuriating. Like, oh look, 3rd and 1. Guess what's gonna happen? Oh look, Jalen Hurts ran it. It's the same thing.
It is the same thing. Maybe it's because it didn't work, and in the playoffs when we're rooting against Patrick Mahomes and it didn't work 4 straight times. I think that's probably where that comes from in my mind.
Okay, nice save. I'll let it slide. We don't need to keep going down that rabbit hole. Snyder, I did want to get your thoughts. We've had some conversations about Jackson Smith and Jigba. Breakout season last year, really good. Quarterback change. It goes from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold. So depending on, they're probably pretty even. But they also added Cooper Kupp, who likes to play in the slot where Jackson Smith and Jigba dominated. Do you see any regression for him this upcoming season?
No. I actually like that they got Cooper Kupp. I don't think it's going to take away any targets from him. So, I mean, they had DK Metcalf over there that was drawing most of the attention from the defense, and you have Tyler Lockett, who's causing the safeties to back up. And that's what made Jackson Smith and Jigba get so much room to run, so much room to catch. And now if they would have gotten rid of those two and it was just JSN, I feel like he would have really struggled, because you're going to have number one corners, you're going to have the safety over top, you're going to have everything. But now that you have Cooper Kupp there, like, you have to be honest with that. Kupp is so dynamic that I don't care how old he gets, he's going to keep finding ways to get open. He's going to draw attention, which is going to let JSN keep cooking. And I think that he is young enough and moldable enough that he is going to be fine going to the outside. He might not have as many big breakout games, but I think as far as like overall, he's going to be fine this year. And as far as quarterback, I think Sam Darnold is a step up from Geno Smith, but just not by a whole lot.
Cool. Me and George have debated that a couple of times this offseason, so I'm glad that you're here and we can get your thoughts. But I'm good to move on to our last set of 5 for today's show, I believe.
Yes,
you guys are.
So we got number 30 to 26. Number 30 is Breece Hall. 29, Chase Brown. 28, Devontae Adams. 27, Tyreek Hill. And 26, Trey McBride. I teased Devontae Adams in the last set of guys because he is the highest rated wide receiver 2 on our list. And I actually lied. He's the biggest disparity in rankings between Cody and I. I have him down at 35. Cody all the way up at 24. And why are you a homer?
I can't be called a homer anymore. He's been on 3 different teams now since he was with Green Bay.
He's still a homer.
But the opposite, I mean, Puka has had his injury concerns as well. Devontae can still be a number 1 guy. We've seen Matthew Stafford support 2 top 24 wide receivers in Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. So I think that trend continues as well. With Puka's inability to stay healthy for all these games, he could have some weeks where he is the number 1 guy. And I just think it's a really good fit with him in Los Angeles. So I've been on the Devontae Adams is going to have a really bounce back season since June. So having him as higher than you is no surprise.
Do you have strong feelings, Tyler? Or you want to talk about someone else?
I got somebody else on my mind.
Okay. I mean, I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree on Adams. I still think he's gonna have a solid year, but having him a whole round lower, I feel like the value has a better chance to come to you. And we've seen 2 top 24 wide receiver seasons out of Chase and Higgins before too. Yeah, the availability last year wasn't there, but it's not like there's no comparison in that.
Yeah, and he finished wide receiver 14 last year with all the quarterbacks. I mean, whether it was Rodgers or Gardner Minshew.
A phantom hamstring injury, however many weeks it took him to get traded out of Vegas, too, I guess. Yeah.
So, but since you're going to come at me, I'm going to come at you.
Okay.
We have Chase Brown 1 spot higher than Breece Hall. And I believe today in one of our Dynasty Leagues, you traded Breece Hall for Chase Brown. So let's talk about that.
I traded Chase Brown for Breece Hall and Cooper DeJean.
Oh, so now who's the homer?
Yeah, exactly. No, it was one of those situations where I was going to look for a corner because I was weak at it. I have Hall and Brown pretty similar, and in Dynasty, it's not too much different. So I was able to add a corner that was better than what I would get on free agency and give myself a shot, still short-term and long-term with the other guys. So nothing crazy.
You got 2 guys left, or you can talk about one of the ones we've already talked about, Snyder.
Yeah, no, I need you guys to explain Trey McBride to me, please. I don't know. Like, I'll be honest with you. Being a Titans fan, I probably slept through most of last season because they were the worst team in all of football. So it was hard to enjoy looking forward to Sunday as much. But I'm not going to argue that Trey McBride's good, but 26 seems really high.
He finished as tight end 2 last year, right?
He did.
Okay. What did he finish overall?
I'll look that up while you talk, Cody. Go ahead and defend your guy because this is your guy, not mine.
No, I think it just targets the bounce back. So he finished as quarter 2 or 3 last year, had over 140 targets, but only had 2 touchdowns. I think that bounces back in a big way this year. So to score that many points with only 2 touchdowns at the tight end position, just to show how much a big part of the offense you are. He is a safety blanket for Kyler Murray. So he's my top tight end in this year's class, like this year. Like I would take him over Brock Bowers. I've said that. Maybe that's my hot take. Some people are all on the Brock Bowers train, but I would take Trey McBride as my top tight end. So 26, looking at the round 3 range for your top tight end, probably still a little too rich from where I like to personally draft tight ends. But if I think that's a good fit for him. And when you look up the rankings, we could also look at current ADP and other places too. I would imagine he's going a little bit around there.
If the draft fell this way, like right now, and I was sitting at pick like 28, 27, whatever, and somebody took Trey McBride right before I picked, I'd be so excited that somebody just fell to me. I would think it was a crazy.
I would take Devontae over Trey McBride, and I'm pretty sure that reflects in my rankings.
George, did you have the stats on Flex? Where was he ranked in Flex?
Okay, so I don't have Flex. I have overall, so there's some quarterbacks up here. But currently, I say, including quarterbacks, he finished as number 56. He was tight end 3. George Kittle was a couple points ahead of him, literally 3 points ahead of him. And then tight end 1 was Brock Bowers at number 45. So obviously, we have quarterbacks mixed in there. There's some weird stats. But you also have to just envision, like, tight ends get pushed up the board because if you have one of those top tier tight ends, they're getting so many more points than the guys that were waiting to take a tight end. And that's why, like, Travis Kelce was taken in the end of the first round for how many years in a row?
I feel like Kelce's a bit of a different story. Can't compare Kelce of 2-3 years ago to Trey McBride this year. I really don't think we can.
I mean, it's fair, but
if
when
you
you're
are
thinking
comparing
about
it, then you can, but
if you're thinking about it too, so yeah, we take out Kelce. This was probably the area where we were taking George Kittle, and he's still, just down in the last part of this list. Mark Andrews and those guys when they were in the top of their game as well. So it's not really much different where tight end 2-3 kind of goes around this spot.
All right, I think we just have different values on what Trey McBride is. I'm not valuing Trey McBride at the same level of, pinnacle Mark Andrews, pinnacle George Kittle. Like, I'm not putting him in that same group. I am a big Trey McBride fan. So, like, I really like the guy. I have him in dynasty leagues. I'm excited to have him. So this isn't me crapping on him saying like, oh, he sucks. Like, I just don't think he's at that same level. I feel like he looks like he's at that same level because tight ends have been so bad the last few years, especially when your top guys like Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews have been more disappointing compared to what we expect. I think that's what makes him look like he's so much better.
And yeah, I mean, just to back you up too, you can argue the gap between tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 tight ends has been smaller over the last 2 years than it was how many years before when we were sitting there trying to take premium tight ends because there was 3 guys and then no one else did literally anything.
Crazy. I also just think he's going to catch more touchdowns. So you go from 2 to 8. He is the clear cut number 1 touchdown or number 1 tight end. So, and adding those 30 points.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Just before we jump out of this, any concerns about the Tyreek Hill Tua confrontation thing that happened where Tua was talking about how Tyreek Hill basically has to gain his trust back after giving up at the end of last season?
Nope.
Okay. I think 27 kind of reflects that, but wanted to make sure.
I mean, if you're a quarterback in the NFL and somebody kind of gives up, but they have the speed and athleticism of Tyreek Hill, are you going to put your pride ahead of touchdowns? No, you're going to throw that dude the ball.
Yeah, because if Jalen Waddle was living up to his expectations, you could probably show him a little bit and be like, I'm just going to throw the ball to Jalen, but that hasn't been happening lately.
Hey, there was a clip of it on social media. Tua to Jalen Waddle got Mike McDaniels jumping. That's the time of year we're in. You see a person catch a pass and the sidelines go crazy. So good to be back.
It is. And Miami is still the fastest team in the NFL, and they're going to be really fun until they have to play in a frozen tundra in January.
I like that. George, you want to run through where we're at, recap these players real fast, and then we can hop out of here?
So I'm only going to go back to 50. So if you guys missed 100 to 51, make sure you check out last week's episode or check out our social medias for that. We're going to start off with number 50 was Courtland Sutton, 49 Joe Mixon, 48 DK Metcalf, 47 James Conner, and 46 Alvin Kamara. 45 was Chuba Hubbard, 44 Joe Burrow, 43 Rashee Rice, 42 DJ Moore, and 41 Marvin Harrison Jr. 40 was Ken Walker, 39 Garrett Wilson, Jayden Daniels at 38, Jalen Hurts 37, and 36 Terry McLaurin. 35 T. Higgins, 34 George Kittle, Jackson Smith and Jigba at 33, James Cook at 32, and Mike Evans at 31. And then finally, 30 was Breece Hall, 29 Chase Brown, 28 Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill at 27, and Trey McBride at 26.
Awesome. Snyder, it was good to have you. I don't have a bumper. Do you have an oddball fact?
Absolutely not.
All right. Well, I got one for you.
Okay.
Because, and I heard this from another podcast, and I shared it in our group text as well. So I'm going to have to pull it up. But Derrick Henry, one of your all-time favorite players, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
That's safe to say. Someone else on another podcast, I think it was a PFF one, they highlighted this, but it was so mind-blowing. I had to catch it. So Derrick Henry entering his 10th year of the NFL. Longevity for running back, amazing. 2,000-yard rushing season, has amassed 11,423 yards. That's pretty incredible for a 9-year NFL career. Well, that's still less than his 4 years in high school football, where he rushed for 12,124 yards during his high school career. So I would have loved to have been to those games. Like, did he just take the ball and run to the end zone? Everything, like, mind-blowing.
There is highlights on YouTube, and as a huge Derrick Henry fan, I have watched them numerous times. His Yulee High School highlights are there. You can watch it. It's literally like he lines up in the Wildcat and just takes off. They hand him the ball pretty much every single play. He looks as massive as he does now, but against these puny little high school football players, nobody can tackle him. He still outruns everybody. He looks like a track star. It's crazy. It doesn't look human. It kind of looks like, you remember in the old Madden games where we used to do a create a player and you would make him a 99 overall in everything. You make him 10 times the size of everybody else, and then you'd play with them and everybody just can't touch him. That's what it looked like, but it was real life. It's super cool. I highly recommend going on YouTube and looking at his high school stats.
I knew you would enjoy that one, and as I saw that, I did watch those highlights as well. So can agree with him on that one. George, any last thoughts or things before we hop out?
Interested to see how bad Group A stinks, according to how much trash Tyler talked, and ready to get into fantasy season. Honestly,
definitely. Like I said, reminder, Couch GM's World Cup drafting 1 month from today. We'll be back next week to finish out this top 100 series. Then we're getting into some fun. For checking out an episode of the Couch GM's podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X. There's the same things. TikTok, at the Couch GM's.
Fine.
I know, it's all good. But we'll talk to you all next week. I'm Cody Roadcap. That's George Kurth. And making his triumphant return is Tyler Snyder. We'll see you next week.